Sugoi.
Ah, ojo que había salido una cosa del One Piece Live Action, ¿ah? A ver qué nos dice Iñaki Papacito Godoy.
There were multiple straw hats for different scenes. There was a specific type of straw hat for the white shots. There was like another type of straw hat for the close-ups. Sometimes I had to change straw hats. There was a fight scene straw hat. Every single straw hat felt special to me. Hi, I'm Iñaki.
Manja, o sea, han habido diferentes sombreros de paja para diferentes escenas. Esto me hace acordar al Señor de los Anillos, que de hecho tenían un montón de diferentes anillos y de diferentes tamaños para diferentes tomas. Para close-ups era de un tamaño, para tomas desde lejos otro, para tomas en las que estaba Frodo con el anillo acá en el pecho era otro. Así que esto se hace mucho en el cine, en verdad. Me ha hecho acordar muchísimo lo del anillo. O sea que habían diferentes sombreros de pajas de diferentes tamaños para diferentes tomas, para diferentes momentos. Eso está guapo. De hecho, hay tomas en las que les gustaría que el sombrero se vea más grande. En algunas tomas de repente era más pequeño para que no se caiga. ¿Qué será, no? O de repente había uno gigante para una toma así súper detallada de cada pajita, pe huevón. Como cada pajita que tú te haces en tu casa, sobrino. ¿Ah? Mientras tu mamá no te ve.
Iñaki Godoy, and this is how I became Monkey D. Luffy in One Piece.
A ver, vamos a ver su proceso.
I remember that for my audition, and I played this YouTube video that was like, oh, who is Monkey D. Luffy? Let's analyze this character. And I just listened to that video for like an hour, and I realized that the main thing about Luffy was his smile. So I thought to myself, if I can have that smile in my audition, I think I have a good shot at making this character. And
muy importante, ¿ah? Y para este momento, Iñaki no tenía idea de lo importante que iba a ser la sonrisa para Luffy en un futuro, ¿ah? Creo que en ese momento ni siquiera existía lo que nosotros conocemos como el Gear Fifth. Así que, ojito, Iñaki no se anda con huevadas, ¿ah? Se dio cuenta de algo importante y lo chapó.
And hey, I think it worked. I remember that for my audition scene, I was talking with Kobe. I didn't know it was Kobe at the time, but my audition scene was the scene where we're at the dinghy after fighting Elvita. I remember when I did my first read of that audition, I was a little bit more serious. You know, there's like a boat in flames behind me. Like, you know, that's
¿Cómo? Oye, nuevas tomas, huevón. Está guapardo esto, tío. Me quedé pensando en una huevada. Lo que pasa es que hace tiempo estaba grabando un comercial para... Bueno, ya lo puedo decir, para el BCP, para el BC Pilsen. Y estaba conversando con uno de los chicos que estaba actuando ahí. Y uno me dijo que él conocía a un peruano que estuvo en la selección para hacer el personaje de Luffy. Y que de hecho este actor peruano estuvo entre los finalistas para... O sea, lo que me dijeron, que no sé si será verdad, no lo sé. Pero lo que me dijeron era que estaban entre Iñaki Godoy y entre este peruano hasta que al final ganó Iñaki Godoy, ¿no? Obviamente. Pero sería interesante contactarme con él y hacer una pequeña entrevista para ver qué tal. Capaz lo podríamos subir aquí en el canal. Mira esa cara de mamahuevazo en la que le hemos parado a Iñaki. Está las huevas, ¿ah?
For my audition scene, I was talking.
A ver, dice que para su audición le dieron una escena en la que estaba hablando con Kobe, ¿no? Que él no sabía que era Kobe.
Talking with Kobe. I didn't know it was Kobe at the time, but my audition scene was the scene where we're at the dinghy after fighting Elvita. I remember when I did my first read of that audition, I was a little bit more serious. You know, there's like a boat in flames behind me. Like, you know, that sounds like some serious stuff. And I sent that audition, and then I got some feedback, and it was like, I know there's a boat, like, on fire, but your character, he's chilling, man. He's, like, fine.
He's chilling, o sea, como que está tranquilo el personaje, ¿no? Querían ver cómo podría reaccionar Luffy frente a una adversidad. O sea, una... Pero interesante que haga la audición y que le manden feedback de la audición, ¿ah? Locazo esa guada. Yo nunca había escuchado eso. Pero está loco, parece que vieron algo en él, le dieron feedback para que lo vuelva a hacer y lo hizo de puta madre.
Again, this time no drama at all. And hey, that's how I got my callback. My mom received a
Manja, y la chuntó.
WhatsApp, and it was like, we want you to play Monkey D. Luffy. I was really, really excited, and then it hit me like, wow, this is gonna change my life.
De todas maneras, pe huevón. Claro.
And then I got really excited again. I didn't get to meet with Oda during the audition process. I did get to meet him later down the line. And
Chucha,
I
pendejo,
asked him that question, like, why me? Why did you like me? And
¿Y qué
he
dijo?
said that I made him laugh in my audition.
¡Boh! ¡Golazo, pe huevón!
Getting into-
Imagínate hacer reír a Oda Sensei, o sea, cágate en la puta.
Character with Luffy was a big challenge.
¿Qué dice? Ah, la preparación mental.
He is very explosive, very optimistic.
Totalmente.
He's a crazy guy in a lot of ways, but he's also kind, and he doesn't speak too much. He listens a lot. To me, it felt
¿Eso
like
es verdad
Luffy was
también?
an optimistic, big dreamer who cares about his friends,
No one messes
With my friends.
who's brave, who's committed, and who will do anything for his dreams. So understanding that was a key factor for me to play this character, and then after that, it was finding a balance between how can I be fun, energetic, and crazy, but also keep this real, you know? How do I find that balance? And honestly, that was just a
Importante,
lot
¿eh?
of work with my directors. I had this director called Mark Jobs.
Mark
the first two
Jobs.
episodes,
Directorazo, Mark Jobs. Se ha dirigido unas secuencias de Daredevil que te cagas.
amazing director, and he used to tell me that he was my parachute. So I could try things. Let's make a funny face on this one, you know? I'm gonna really open my eyes here and I'm gonna scream out loud. And if you think it's too much, you let me know. So knowing that I could trust my team to get out of my comfort zone really gave me a safety to, you know, try to be unique. Because Luffy is extraordinary, so you need to be different.
Huevón, es que sí, es muy importante tener un director al lado que te esté dando esa tranquilidad, porque es muy fácil en un proyecto tan grande y siendo tan joven poder entrar en un estado de nerviosismo, un estado de no saber si estás haciendo las cosas bien, de dudar bastante, de cagarla. Pero con un buen director que te dé la ventana para que pruebes cosas, eso es importantísimo. Me están llamando sobrino. ¿Qué tal el ringtone? De puta madre, ¿sí o no?
Immediately knew who Luffy was in the Alvida fight. I was watching the anime, and it didn't take me long to understand who this guy was. He
Es que es una muy buena introducción, ¿ah?
sees a person who has been mistreated. He doesn't really know them, and yet he decides to help them. And when he does that, he does it with a smile. He gets into a fight, and he's smiling because
¡Ojo!
he enjoys being a pirate. I think growing up, I was a lot like Luffy in some ways.
¡Qué guapo! Esas escenas con Alvida. ¡Qué guapo va a estar esto! Esto va a estar espectacular, gente. Esto va a estar
I was a lot like
espectacular.
Luffy in some ways. I had growing.
¡Qué
He
paja
enjoys
estas
it with a
tomas,
smile.
weón!
He gets into a fight, and he's smiling
Ay, Alvida, parece que Alvida se va a burlar de él. Va a decir, ¡ah, te chivolo de mierda!
because he enjoys being a pirate.
Oye, y acá está uno de los piratitas estos de mierda que aparece, que es uno de los que abre el barril, weón. A ver, ¿quién más está por acá? A ver si reconozco. Bueno, esos clásicos piratas. Pero este, weón, clarísimo sacado del anime.
Smiling because he enjoys being a pirate.
Y acá está el baboso ese.
I think growing up, I was a lot like Luffy in some ways. I had no worries in the world. Everything was so much fun. And I think Luffy is like that too. Luffy is a rubber man.
Totalmente.
This was new to me. It was a challenge how that would work. I used the anime as a reference for how the rubber buddy reacts. I would see Luffy's fight scenes, the way he stretches, and in the live action, I would try to replicate as much of that as I could. In the manga, in the anime, when Luffy throws out a punch and then it snaps back, he always puts his hand right here.
¿Es
you know?
verdad?
That's like a thing that he does. So that's a thing that I can like literally translate into live action with no problem. So like I can keep that. I watched the anime. I mainly saw the
Los
Japanese dub.
detalles,
Mayumi
¿ah?
Tanaka has been voicing Luffy for a very long time, since 1999.
だから刀が欲しければ俺の仲間になれ
Luffy habla en
And what she has
japonés.
done is amazing, amazing, and I would never try
Increíble.
to replicate any of that because
Nah,
that's her
sería
own
hasta
thing.
las huevas.
She created her own version of this character, and I have to do my own thing with the live action too. So, you know, more than paying attention to what the dub actors were doing, I really just paid attention to what the character was all about.
行ってみようっと
Qué guapo que Iñaki tiene un anillo de One Piece en el dedo, ¿ah?
The anime is great as it is. I would never try to replicate it. I mean, that's why it's been going for so long. and live action needs to stand by its side. My voice in Spanish is a lot deeper. Si me escuchan hablar ahorita en español, hablo muchísimo más grave que mi personaje de Luffy. So yeah, my voice in Spanish is like way deeper than Luffy's voice in English. I found his voice just with time. It just appeared.
Ojo.
I'm feeling so piratey. And slowly with time, I started to speak more like this, you know, more like, oh, wow, and being a little bit more loud, and it just came natural. The script is so good that it just pushes you to say the lines in a certain way. I remember...
Importante que sea bueno el guión, sino una caca, aunque sea buena actora.
It's happening. It was a realization that for the next 10 months, that character would be my life. While I was filming, I had a One Piece journal. So I had this little book. I put some pictures of Luffy in that book, and I also put some pictures of me when I was a little kid.
Man,
because
yeah?
Luffy reminds me a lot of me when I was a little kid. I also had notes on every episode on like, oh, these are like the key moments, like this is important, this is important, this is important, like this is where I'm coming from, this is where I'm heading to. And I also did some little exercises like if Luffy did homework for his school about...
Es que sí, es verdad. O sea, para uno como actor, para poder llegar a encontrar el personaje y cuando haces tu análisis del guión, uno generalmente escribe en el guión todas las huevaditas que le parecen importantes, ¿no? ¿Por qué está diciendo esto Luffy en ese momento? Esto lo está diciendo porque pasó esto y esto y esto y esto y vas creando como una línea temporal de tu personaje y de su historia, ¿no?
And I also did some little exercises like, if Luffy did homework for his school about what is his dream, how would that look like? Well, you know, it would be like a drawing of him and his boat. It would be a horrible drawing, and then they're all together, and it's like, my dream is to be a pirate, the king of the pirates. And then, you know, I just did like silly exercises like that, and...
No, pero te ayuda, ¿eh? Te ayuda un culo.
I think they worked. A normal day for me on set. Here we go. I wake up. Normally, the pickup time would be around 5
la mierda, 5 de la mañana.
We wanted to film on sunrise, so we had to wake up early. I would get to set. I had this massive, like, sweatshirt / blanket that I would put on the entire time, and sometimes I would just go to set on my pajamas because I was too lazy to put something on.
Ah, está malcriado, eso es malcriado.
I would go to the makeup trailer. At the first months of shoot, I remember I would go in the makeup trailer and we would like blast music and I would talk and chat and blah blah blah. By the last 4 months, I would sit on that chair and I would be gone. I would be exhausted.
Obvio, pejo.
I would normally take a nap in the chair while I was getting the makeup on, my scar. Then after that, I would put on my costume and I would head to set where we would film. And I remember I did this thing. I would go to set and I would arrive with a theme song. So I thought to myself, what is the most important part about Luffy? Well, he has fun, right? So what is my goal here as an actor to embody this character? Well, I want to have fun and I want to help create a fun environment. So every time I arrived,
y llegando con la música como el puto Joy Boy.
On set, I would blast the John Cena theme song from the car. Sometimes it was the John Cena one, sometimes it was The Rock, sometimes I used to make The Undertaker, but not too many. John Cena was like the main thing. So I would arrive on set and people would know it was me because it was the John Cena song. They would greet me and we would do some dances and then we would block the scene and we would shoot. There were scenes that took longer than others, but I don't think we ever did more than 3 scenes a day. By the time we were finishing, we got a little bit better. Maybe we would do 5 scenes a day. You not only have actors, you have stunt people, you have extras, you have like the sets, you have special effects.
5 escenas es un culo.
And you know, if we want it to be the best version it can be, we have to focus. So, you know, we did take our time with our scenes.
Oh,
there
obvio,
were many sets that were very impressive. The ships are great. Lucky's tent is amazing. When we were filming in Shellstown, I couldn't believe I just walked into a town just made for this show. The production designers on this show are insanely talented. They created, I mean, this super, super interesting world, and I am just so grateful that I get to play inside of it. I remember one time, Emily and I had to film a scene where we're holding to a safe, and then my character pulls the safe out from where it is to a window. And we go flying in the air, so they had to like lift Emily and me up in the sky with a crane, and like if it was like some bungee, they just
Puta,
like
qué
let us
palta.
drop with a camera filming us. I think it was in that moment when I was suspended meters above the ground. I think it was in that moment when I realized like, oh wow, I have never filmed a scene in the sky. Or
Qué
when I
falta,
filmed
coño.
underwater. That was also really wild.
Con
I would
miedo.
open my eyes and there will be divers with cameras filming me. And I have to act underwater. Oh,
Qué guapo, como actor qué guapo tener esos retos, ¿ah? Igual, tirarse tipo de bungee jumping, me cago en la puta, pero...
wow, that is something new. The underwater scene was pretty hard physically because the water was freezing, but that was not the hardest scene to film. I think for me, the hardest scene to film, I had this one scene with Kobe in a dinghy where we're talking about dreams and that he wants to be a Marine. That scene particularly, it was one of my first scenes that I filmed. It was a very important scene because Luffy is all about dreams. So I knew I had to get this scene right. This is what the character is all about. There were a lot of things that I did in that scene at the beginning that I changed. I did rehearsals for that scene with my director, and I think it worked out pretty well. But it definitely was a process getting to that point of, oh, like there's this side of Luffy that he is very kind and nice. He's not just a ball of energy. He's a ball of energy who listens. So for Luffy's powers, this is all like the special effects. They are the ones that really made that magic come to life. I would like punch in the air and that was it. You know, like I would throw a punch in the air. The other actor would have to react like 2 seconds later because the punch was stretching in post-production. And that was like what I did for those special effects scenes. At the beginning of the show, we were trying a lot of different things. And I remember I did have like this, they created like this long stretchy arm. I don't know if they ever used it. I know that me personally, I never used that long stretchy arm that they built. It was amazing though. Like if I could, I would keep that thing in my house just as a souvenir.
Takeaways.
There's one piece of advice. Oh, one piece. If there is
está
one piece of
graciosito.
advice I could give to any young actor, anyone who supports you will tell you, just have fun. You need to have fun. Because you don't know where life is going to take you. I really just do what I do because I enjoy it. And if it was with Luffy,
Este chibolo se va
if
para
it was
arriba.
with any other character,
Se va a ir para arriba este
big
chibolo,
production,
¿ah?
small production, I know that I'm going to find a way to have fun because I got into this business and into acting because I love it. So my advice to you would be, regardless of where life takes you, just enjoy it.
Disfruta, sobrino.
Enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it.
Disfruta y no jales
Because you get to
cocaína.
do something that you like, and it doesn't matter if it takes time when you're doing what you love. So have fun.
Guapardo, ¿ah? Iñaki grande, sobrino. Te vas para arriba.